Welcome to all. In this video, let us discuss first lesson of history, that is advent of Europeans to India. In this unit, I am going to discuss about the trade and commerce relationship India had with Europeans, the arrival of Europeans to India for trade, the Carnatic Wars in the backdrop of European political developments, Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, and dual government system. The trade and commerce relationship India had with Europeans. There were trade and commerce relationship between India and Europe since ancient times. There was great demand for Indian spices like pepper, cardamom, ginger, and many other spices in Europe. The trade relationship continued between India, Europe, and other Asian countries even during Middle Ages. The Arab merchants carried the Asian merchandise into Constantinople of Eastern Roman Empire. Eastern Roman Empire was also called Byzantium Empire. Indian merchants would buy these goods and then sell in European countries. The trade and commerce relationship between India had with Europeans here. Like this, Constantinople was the center of international business and considered as the gate of European trade, while Arab merchants had gained monopoly over the trade in Asian countries. Italian traders had gained monopoly over trade in Europe. The merchandise from Asia had brought good profits to Italian merchants. The fall of Constantinople. The trade and commerce between Asia and Europe was taking place through the city of Constantinople. In the year 1453, the Ottoman Turks captured the city of Constantinople. As a result, all the trade routes connecting the city of Constantinople came under the control of Turks. The Turks started levying too many taxes on the goods passing through these routes. As a result, the merchants felt that the trade was not profitable. Meanwhile, Spain and Portugal were attempting to break the monopoly of Italian traders. They started encouraging courageous sailors to find a sea route to India. The invention of compass, astrolabes, and gunpowder provided further impetus to this venture. Vasco da Gama, the Portuguese sailor who left Lisbon and reached Kapadu near Calicut on the east coast of India in the year 1498. By this, he was successful in discovering a new sea route to India. This route continued to be the route of trade between India and Europe for many years. Like this, Portuguese were the first to re-establish trade between India and Europe. European trade companies. With the success of Portuguese, many Dutch, French, and English arrived at India for trade. This development not only changed the history of India, it also changed the history of European countries. First one is Portuguese. Portuguese were the first to arrive at India for the trade and were also the last to leave India on the sea route. After Vasco da Gama, Francisco de Almeida arrived in India as the Viceroy of Portuguese. He implemented blue water policy in order to establish the supremacy over the sea instead of supremacy over lands. Alphonse de Albuquerque, who came after Almeida, is considered as the real founder of Portuguese Empire in India. He waged a battle against the Sultan of Bijapur in 1510 and won Goa. Goa became the administrative center of Portuguese administration in India. The Portuguese had absolute monopoly over trade with India for almost a century and their power declined with the arrival of English and French in India. Another important European here, Dutch. Dutch are from Holland or Netherlands. They established United East India Company in 1602 with the aim of doing business with eastern countries and entered countries like India, Java, Sumatra, Indonesia and spices rich islands. They established warehouses in Surat, Broch, Cambe, Cochin, Nagapattinam, Musulipattinam, and Chinsur and other places in India. With this, they broke the monopoly of Portuguese in India. Later, unable to face competition from English and French, Dutch limited themselves to spice rich islands. In the year 1600, December 31st, Queen Elizabeth issued a royal charter authorizing East India Company to trade with eastern countries for 15 years. The company started the business formally in 1613. The Mughal Emperor Jahangir issued a royal permission to English to establish their first warehouse of factory at Surat. 1617, Sir Thomas Roe arrived at the court of Jahangir as the royal ambassador from the court of James I. He sought permission from Jahangir to establish factories in other places of Mughal Empire. English established factories in Agra, Ahmedabad and Broch. In 1639, English took Madras from the king of Chandragiri and established a strong fort named St. George Fort. Later, Charles II, the Prince of England, gave Bombay as an annual rent of £10 a year to East India Company in 1668. In 1690, the English purchased three villages, namely Sutanoti, Kalikata, Govindapura on the banks of Hooghly River and built Fort William. The city of Calcutta grew around this fort by 17th century. The English had established Bombay, Madras and Calcutta as the centers of their presidencies. By the later part of 18th century, the English made Calcutta as their capital city. They implemented their own civil and criminal procedure codes in the areas that were under their control. French. French East India Company started as a government owned company in 1664. It started its factory, the first factory in Surat in the year 1668. Later, they established its factories in Machilipatnam, Chandranagore, Mahe, Karaikal, Kazim Bazar, Balasur. In 1674, the French took Valikondapuram from a local Muslim official and developed it as a major trade center. That center is Puducherry or Pondicherry. Dupleix, who arrived in Pondicherry as the Governor General of French, had the high ambition of establishing French as the major power in South India. The ambition this ambition led to Carnatic wars with the English. First Carnatic War, which was fought between 1746 to 48, on the request of Dupleix, Labourdonnais, a French military leader from Mauritius, invaded Madras and captured it. This forced the helpless British to request the help of Anwaruddin, the Nawab of Carnatic, for support. The army sent by Anwaruddin failed to defeat the French at Madras. Finally, Labourdonnais took money from the English and returned Madras and went back to Mauritius. This enraged Dupleix and attempted to take Madras but failed in it. Finally, this war ended with a treaty in Europe between the France and England called Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. Second Carnatic War, which was fought between 1749 to 1754. In the changed circumstances, French made Salabat Jung, another son of Asabza, as the Nizam of Hyderabad. An officer named Bussi was stationed in Hyderabad for his protection by French. In Carnatic, Chanda Sahib was the Nawab. With the help of French, Robert Clive of East India Company attacked Arcot, the capital city of Carnatic, and defeated Chanda Sahib. Chanda Sahib was imprisoned and later killed in this war. In the place of Chanda Sahib, the English named Muhammad Ali, the son of Anwaruddin, as the Nawab of Carnatic. The Second Carnatic War ended with the Treaty of Pondicherry. French recalled Dupleix. This war brought laurels to English, while French suffered a political setback. Third Carnatic War, which was fought between 1756 to 1763, Count de Lally of French attempted to capture Vandivash in the year 1760. In this decisive battle, Sir Eyrecourt of the English army defeated the French and imprisoned Bussy. Lally escaped and hid in Pondicherry. Finally, Eyrecourt attacked Pondicherry and Lally had to surrender unconditionally in 1761. French had to lose all their bases in India due to Carnatic Wars. In spite of this, as per the Treaty of Paris in 1763, Pondicherry was returned to French. With these developments, French lost their importance in India. Like this, English, by defeating all their rivals, started consolidating their power over the southern India. Battle of Plassey, it was fought in the year 1757. It was fought between the British and Sirajuddaulah. Alivardi Khan, the Nawab of Bengal, died in 1756. His grandson Sirajuddaulah came to throne. The Plassey battle took place between the young Nawab Sirajuddaulah and the British in 1757. What were the reasons for the Battle of Plassey? First reason was misuse of dastaks. Sirajuddaulah was furious that the dastaks were misused by the officials of the company, incurring losses to the government treasury. Second important reason was mending of the fort without permission. The British repaired the fort of Calcutta and placed cannons in them. This further angered Sirajuddaulah and he ordered the removal of cannons from the fort. The British refused to do this, angering the Nawab further. Third important reason was Black Room tragedy. Sirajuddaulah conquered the Fort William easily and imprisoned some of the British. He imprisoned 146 Englishmen in a small room in the fort, of which 123 died. This is called as the Black Room tragedy. This enraged Robert Clive and arrived in Bengal with a large army. Robert Clive attracted rich locals like Manik Chand, Omi Chand, Jagat Seth, others towards him. He was successful in convincing Mir Jafar, the military head of Sirajuddaulah, to stay neutral in the battle by offering him the post of Nawab of Bengal. Encouraged by all these developments, Robert Clive declared war against Sirajuddaulah. Everything went according to the plan of Clive. Sirajuddaulah, who tried to escape from the battlefield, was captured and killed. What were the outcomes of the Battle of Plassey? This war brought out immorality, lack of unity among the Indians, and the greed of Indian businessmen. Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. The company gained exclusive rights to do business in Bengal. Mir Jafar had to pay rupees 17 crores and 70 lakhs to the British as a relief to Sirajuddaullah's attack on the Fort William. Another important personality of this lesson was Mir Jafar. In nutshell, Mir Jafar became continuous victim of the company and its employees. Even though the treasury went bankrupt due to this greedy nature, the greediness of the company and its officials were never satisfied. The British projected Mir Jafar as an inefficient Nawab and brought in his nephew Mir Qasim as the new Nawab. Battle of Buxar, which was fought in the year 1764. What were the reasons for the Battle of Buxar? Mir Qasim was an efficient administrator. In the beginning, he remained loyal to the company. He paid 2 lakh pounds to the company and gave away few places to it. Shortly, he declared himself as an independent king. After verifying the misuse of dastaks, he declared that the business is duty free in Bengal. Mir Qasim entered into agreements with the Mughal ruler Shah Alam II and Nawab of Oudh, Shuja-ud-Dowla. The combined forces of Mir Qasim faced the British army led by Hector Munro at Buxar in 1764. Mir Qasim got defeated and ran away from the battlefield. Shah Alam II surrendered. The efforts of the combined forces to stop the British force failed completely. Mir Qasim entered into agreements. Mir Qasim failed completely. Okay. What were the outcomes of the Battle of Buxar? What were the outcomes of the Battle of Buxar? Shah Alam II accorded the Diwani rights over Bengal to the English. Shah Alam II gave away all the rights over Bengal to the British for an annual fee of rupees 26 lakhs. The Nawab of Oudh had to give away a fine of rupees 50 lakh for waging a war against the company. With the death of Mir Jafar, the company paid pension to his son and took over the entire administration of Bengal. The last concept of this lesson is dual government concept. In 1765, Robert Clive brought in dual government concept. As per this concept, the British had the right to collect land taxes, whereas the Nawab had power over administrative issues like justice and others. Like this, the British gained political control over India to protect their business interest. In first lesson, we must give importance to these questions like how did trade take place between India and Europe during Middle Ages, discuss the reasons that resulted in the discovery of new sea route to India, explain the effects of the fall of Constantinople, explain the achievements of Francisco de Almeida, explain the achievements of Alfonso de Albuquerque, where did the Dutch establish their warehouses, explain the reasons for First Carnatic War, explain the reasons for Second Carnatic War, explain the reasons for Third Carnatic War, explain the effects of Third Carnatic War, explain the reasons for the Battle of Plassey, explain Black Room tragedy, what were the outcome of the Battle of Plassey, explain the reasons for the Battle of Buxar, explain the outcome or results of the Battle of Buxar, explain the dual government concept. These are all the important questions which we can expect in exam.